Welcome back to Ozarks Tonight. Well, Jim Connell from 417 Sports and the Branson Tri-Lakes News is joining us once again in the studio today. Jim, it's good to see you. Last time we had you in, it was dark days for the St. Louis Cardinals. They were coming off 5 straight losses on a West Coast trip to the A's and the Dodgers. But since then, they played 25 games and they've won 20 of those games to take a 3-game lead in the division. You know, what has led to this turnaround for the old birds on the bat?
I don't know, yeah, like you said, it's kind of like they flipped the switch and they can do no wrong now. They've got Jack Flaherty at the top of the rotation. He's pitching like the ace. He's kind of decided that he's going to be the man on the staff. You got Dexter Fowler coming on, Colton Wong doing his thing, Paul Goldschmidt. Everything's just falling right for him. I think it's a real testament to the job that Mike Schilt has done as manager. There's a high level of trust between the players and he and the players, and you know, he's kind of kept things on an even keel, and now things are paying off for him.
Yeah, so last time we spoke, it seemed like the fan base kind of had pitchforks and torches, and they were getting outside the front office because the Cardinals didn't make any moves at the trade deadline to improve this team. But it's kind of looking like now that the front office might have been smart by not making any moves.
Yeah, everybody was ready for John Mozeliak to walk the plank, so to speak, and get rid of him. But no, he's having the last laugh now, and you know, they're a few games up on the Cubs in the division, and one of the hottest teams in baseball. I would think that no team in the National League playoffs is going to want to be taking on the Cardinals.
Sure, and one of the players that has you know, really played well this year, he dealt with some shoulder injuries last year, is Marcell Ozuna, but he hit a big home run last night into Big Mac land for the 1-0 victory. But his contract's expiring at the end of the year. Do you think he's one of the guys that the Cardinals might want to bring back next year, or do you think they're going to let him go in favor of some of these other younger outfielders?
They've got a lot of youth in the minor leagues, you know, a lot of stud outfielders, but you know, just judging on the season he's had and some of the big moments he's had coming down the stretch, I don't see how you could, you know, be in favor of letting him go or even test the market. I would like to see him locked up pretty early here.
Yeah, it would be nice to see at least another 1 or 2 more years of Ozuna in the Cardinals lineup for sure. Jack Flaherty, great, 0.85 ERA after the All-Star break. I think he's 5-1 in that time frame, which is surprising that he's even lost a game because he's pitched so well. And his ERA on the season is down to 3.14. He's in the top 10 in the National League. Do you think Flaherty going forward is going to submit himself as one of the, you know, top arms, perennial Cy Young contenders in the National League? Yeah,
I think at the very least he's going to be an ace for the Cardinals for the next, you know, 5-7 years. I mean, I remember when he was in Springfield, he kind of had that mentality, that toughness on the mound, where he liked the pressure, he liked getting the ball in the big games, and it's really paying off this year. He's showing what he can do on the big stage. You know, if he got any run support, he'd be probably one of the favorites or one of the leading contenders for the Cy Young.
It's going to be fun as we head toward the end of the month, because 7 out of the last 10 games of the season are against the old Cubbies in Chicago, who are, you know, right behind the Cardinals right now, and they've kind of weathered this hot stretch for the Cardinals. They're still within striking range. Season going to come down to those last 3 games, you think?
Yeah, well, I think they're both going to be in the playoffs, and like I said, I don't think any team in the National League is going to want to play the Cardinals with the way they're playing right now. But you've got the Dodgers, who have just been dominant all season long. You've got the Braves, who have a good record, and the Cubs are just almost seemingly unbeatable at home. So I mean, that's going to make some riveting playoff action.
Absolutely, and I could imagine if you're the Cardinals, you really want to win the division.
Yes.
Because, you know, you're probably going to face up with the Washington Nationals, who have a, you know, whole stable of top-level arms they could throw at you in a winner-take-all wild card game. So I think, you know, the division's got to be, they want to come away with that one and ensure 5 games.
Yeah, definitely. And like I said, if you can get away from playing the Cubs, with the Cubs having home field advantage, and you're playing the majority of the games at Wrigley, then that's got to be a big objective too.
Absolutely. Now let's head down I-70 series. Big news coming out of Kansas City as well. Their owner David Glass is looking to, you know, sell the team to John Sherman, a businessman from Kansas City, part owner of the Cleveland Indians, a minority owner there. What do you think this means for the Kansas City franchise going forward if the sale does go through?
I think just gives more stability to the franchise in Kansas City. I mean, I think you've got to really give a lot of credit to David Glass for what he did. Brought 2 World Series, 1 World Series championship to Kansas City, and I really like that they were able to keep the sale news kind of on the down low until it was basically done. You know, that there's a lot of uncertainty whenever a team goes up for sale, but you know, David Glass did a great job as owner. brought the Royals a couple World Series, and now it's going to be in good hands going forward, it looks like.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people from Kansas City are excited because it seems like Sherman, is a big baseball guy.
Yeah.
So, do you think that he might be willing to maybe boost the payroll for Kansas City a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, I'm interested in what happens with the front office with him taking over, but there's no indications that he's going to be cheap, and I'm sure even spending $1 billion or with partners obviously on the ownership of the Royals and buying them, bringing them in. That he's not going to do that and then cut things a lot. I would hope not, at least.
Absolutely, it should be. They have a good young core in place in Kansas City. Some exciting young players. So it might still be a few years, but it's going to be exciting to see this new ownership group, the direction they take the franchise. Before we let you get away today, predictions for Cardinals. What do you think?
Well, last time I was here, I said the Cardinals make the playoffs and make an early exit. I think they win the division. I'm going to change that and up that. And then, in a 5-game or 7-game series in the playoffs, anything can happen. And, I'm not sure they're going to make it to the World Series and make it past the Braves and Dodgers, but I'd like to see them at least get to the LCS.
All right. It should be, at the very least, it should be a lot of fun as we head toward October. It's going to be nice to potentially taste some October baseball here again in the Ozarks. Jim Connell with 417 Sports and Branson Tri-Lakes News. Thanks for being here today. We always appreciate talking sports here on the show.
I'd love to do it.
All right. We'll be back with more Ozarks Tonight right after this.